if even just one, may the joy of the season surround you. Merry Christmas with love.
Beautiful. Borrow Susan's stool. Y'all give me just a second to get set up here this morning. And I have a request. Sit there for just a minute, Junior. Thank you. I have a request. I'd like to ask if all of us would come a little closer to the front, because we're going to have story time. So I want to start off this morning by reading to you a letter that was written in 1947 by Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity. And it was written at the beginning of the Cold War. He said, "Dear folks, at the very beginning of this letter I was warned, but let your speech be yea, yea, and nay, nay. There are so many things I would like to discuss with you. What does the Lord say about the signs of the times? Will there be another war? How about the prophets who say that our civilization is about to end, etc.? Frankly, I've had no direct revelation on these points. I only know that our God, who controls this world through his people, is greater and far more powerful than all the destructive folly of the universe. And that if only a few of us stand steadfastly for truth and righteousness, they will prevail. And our civilization will go right formed to its fulfillment in the millennium. United in truth, we shall have a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. In the unity of the Spirit, yours faithfully, Charles Fillmore." I'd say it's pretty apropos even for our time and day, wouldn't you? And even just a few of us, if we come together in that energy of light and truth and possibility and love, there's a transformation that takes place. And I want to, as we kind of move into Christmas and as we're celebrating Christmas, and this evening we're going to have another celebration of Christmas, and it's a beautiful celebration where we honor our divine spiritual qualities, or what we call our Christ qualities. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But what I'd like to ask you to do is take a moment and just close your eyes and just remember and go back to a time when you were just beginning to question whether some of the things that you were told growing up about Christmas were true. Perhaps you were maybe, who knows, 5 or 6 or 7, maybe a little older, 10 or 12. I hung on for a very long time. Just remember that time where you were just beginning to question and to develop a sense of logic and reason. And if you'll go just right at the verge of that time and just see yourself there. And as you do, maybe you'll grab one of the little stuffed bears and hold that stuffed bear just to remind you of being that little child for a moment. And as you do, I want to read to you a letter directly from Santa. My dear child, it's your old friend Santa here. And I think I'm more excited tonight than I have ever been. And guess what? You are the reason. You're the reason I'm so excited. This Christmas, it is my honor to help you to unwrap the most incredible gift anyone could ever give you. I've been watching you grow up since you were a little baby, and I can see that you are now old enough to understand and accept this most precious gift. But before I tell you what it is, I want to clear up some rumors you may have heard about me. Some kids may have told you that I'm not real. They may have told you that I don't really live at the North Pole, that I don't really have reindeer that can fly, and that elves are just make-believe. I write to you now to explain these rumors and to let you in on a most amazing secret. I am real. I am as real as your mother or father or grandmother are real. I'm as real as the person who loves you enough to give you gifts each Christmas in my name. It's true that I'm not only one person who lives in the North Pole. I know you thought that was pretty amazing. But the truth is really better than that. I am one spirit, the giving spirit, who lives in everyone who chooses to be Santa Claus for someone they love. The miraculous thing is that so many people everywhere love children so much that they want them to experience the awe and wonder of Santa Claus. As your own personal Santa Claus, I spend countless hours thinking about you and filling your stocking with the things you enjoy. I don't do this so you will think I'm wonderful for giving you good things. I do this in secret so you can understand the giving spirit, which is in the heart of everyone who is Santa Claus. So what about the reindeer and elves? Well, the reindeer and elves are just part of the story. But they were real as long as you believed in them. They're not real to you now because you've been told they don't exist. This helps you to learn another lesson about the world. What you believe in is real for you. If you believe that the world is scary and bad, you will find something to scare you everywhere. But if you believe there is love and goodness in the world, then you will be able to find it abundantly, even when faced with hardship. And now that you know who I really am, I want to give you your greatest gift. Really, it's not a gift to be given, but a gift to be revealed or uncovered, because it has always been within you. I want you to know who you really are, because that is what Christmas is all about. Long, long ago, there was a child born in Bethlehem, and his name was Jesus. He lived a life so perfect and pure that now people work to follow his example and be like him. The stories in the Bible about this life of Jesus, tell of a man who showed love and kindness to everyone, even if they were his enemies. He was compassionate and understanding, and by sharing his wisdom, Jesus was able to help people understand how to be closer to God. Just as important, Jesus was willing to forgive others for their mistakes and hurtful actions, even when other people were going to kill him. How could someone be so good all the time, you might ask? Well, Even though Jesus was a human being just like you, he always felt connected to God. His power and love came from the Christ Spirit, which is part of God, that lived inside Jesus all the time. Jesus knew he had the Christ Spirit within himself, and he listened with his heart to that Spirit every minute of every day. And because of this, everything Jesus did was guided by God and filled with love. This guidance from God allowed Jesus to do many amazing things. People called them miracles because they didn't believe they could happen. Jesus turned water into wine and fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. He even made a blind man see and brought life back to a girl whose body had died. People said these things could not be real, but Jesus believed that he could do them, and they were real. And the best part is that Jesus told us that we would be able to do the same thing if we had the same faith. In the Bible, Jesus says in John 14:12, "He who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and greater works than these will he do." My gift to you this Christmas, this year, is the knowledge that you have the Christ Spirit within you. This is who you really are. You're not Jesus, but you have your own shining light of Christ, which can be every bit as powerful. And if you look inside yourself and inside every person you meet, you will find that Christ Spirit. It shines in you when your heart is full of love and joy and forgiveness. This Spirit is part of the same Christ Spirit that was in Jesus. The only difference is that Jesus lived every moment of his life connected to that Spirit. And we often forget who we really are. Jesus was so in touch with his Christ Spirit inside himself that every thought and action started there. We, on the other hand, sometimes only get glimpses of our Christ Spirit because we are distracted with other things, or we're too busy thinking about our daily activities, or what happened yesterday, or what will happen tomorrow. But the Spirit inside of you is part of the same Spirit that was inside Jesus, and your potential is the same as well. You can do whatever you want to do with this gift. It has been with you since you were born, and it will always be yours. No one can ever take it away from you, even if you forget that you have it. I encourage you to seek the Christ Spirit within yourself through prayer and quiet meditation or listening. And if you ask and listen, the Spirit inside will guide you through even the hardest parts of your life. There is no greater treasure than to know that God is a part of you and that you always, and with you always. And you may wonder why this gift is my gift to give. Many people believe that I, Santa Claus, take away from the real meaning of Christmas. They say Santa is simply built on material things and greediness which go against the teachings of Jesus. But Santa Claus is not really about toys as much as it is about the spirit of giving. Giving in secret. It's about giving for the simple reason of seeing joy and happiness on a child's face with no expectation of something in return. In my purest form, Santa Claus is the perfect example of the giving spirit, just as Jesus was the perfect example of the Christ Spirit. Oh, and all this nonsense about seeing if you're good or bad is just that, nonsense, because I know who you truly are, and that gift is always yours. Since you were born, I have known that you have this precious gift of God inside of you. In fact, the gifts that I have been bringing you over the years were to honor the Christ Spirit in you. You probably remember the story of Jesus' birth that tells of wise men who traveled from afar to honor Jesus, to honor the Christ child with gifts. In the same way, I came from afar to honor the Christ child in you. That's why the knowledge of what is inside you is my greatest gift. When you first found out about me, with my flying reindeer and ability to bring toys to every child in the world, you were in awe. You were amazed more at the whole idea of a man in a red suit bringing you toys than you were with the toys themselves. You were surprised that a perfect stranger could know exactly what you wanted and bring it to you down the chimney. But as the years wore on, you began to associate me more with toys and not as much with wonder and magic. And that's why it's time that you know the greatest truth about me and about yourself. This is why it's time for you to be Santa Claus, to be the giving spirit. You can choose to be Santa Claus on Christmas for your parents or for someone you know that needs something you can offer. Or you can show your giving spirit every day in many different ways by giving someone a smile, carrying groceries for your mom or dad, holding open a door, helping someone with no expectation of reward, or simply telling someone how much you love them. It is through these daily acts of giving that the Christ Spirit within you begins to shine, and your life will be forever richer. Of all the gifts I have ever given, this special knowledge is my favorite because it holds such great potential. People all over the world have recognized within themselves the giving spirit, and they show it through their acts as Santa Claus. Just imagine what will happen when those same people who recognize their own Christ Spirit and live from that as well, it is then that we will find heaven and peace on earth. With love and honor for the Christ Spirit in you, Santa. If you would like to have a copy of this, it is a free gift to you, and just let me know, and I will send you the email, the web address, and you can download a free PDF copy and print it off and share it with whoever you would like. And that's our lesson for today. Merry Christmas. And I'll share the stool with Susan.
Preparing for our meditation. I know you know this. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
So just take a deep breath, and again, just see yourself as that little child. the child is just beginning to recognize that not everything that they've been told is exactly as it seemed. But the child that still holds the wonder and the beauty, that still is open to amazing things. The child that still sees itself and plays in its imagination as being a superhero or having all kinds of friends, some that are there physically and some not. Do you see yourself now as that infant, as the Christ child? The child that comes into the world with unlimited possibilities. And just give that child a big hug. See that child within you experiencing the love that you have for the child. And know that the Spirit of God is unfolding like a child, learning and growing, transforming, having a few scrapes and bumps along the way, but not diminishing the beauty, the significance, the specialness that child brings into the world. Thank you, blessed child. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take a nice deep breath. Take another nice deep breath and let your heart be open to that innocence, that beauty, that specialness, that preciousness that you are. And so it is.